This is Road to the Golden Door, where we unpack the proven success formula straight from the minds of Golden Door winners, uncovering the motivation, methods, and the mindset it takes to become an elite performer in door-to-door sales and in life. This is Road to the Golden Door. Now, here's your host, Mikey Lucas.
Let's go. What up, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of Road to the Golden Door. We have Matthew Sessa here. He is a Golden Door Award winner in solar. Started out in alarms at Vivint. Was top rep there, Rookie of the Year, or depending on who you ask, one or two. Over 140 installs last year. So the guy's just coming off of a outstanding year. He's still hot. He's still ready, and he just had a baby. So Matthew Sessa, welcome to the show, brother. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Mikey. Thanks for a solid intro. Excited to be here. Want to be worthy of the title, if you will.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know you just had a kid. I tend to love to talk about family on the show. So for everyone that doesn't know Matthew Sessa, for the listeners, who is Matthew Sessa?
Owner of Energy Bros USA. We started last year. Was really excited to start the company for myself, and it's organically turned into a decent sized sales organization. Father of three, husband for 5 years, Arizona native now, will claim it. But overall businessman, serial entrepreneur. We were just talking before the call about some franchises that we're getting involved with, and hopefully soon to be real estate mogul. We'll see, but set lofty goals, right?
Let's go. Appreciate that, bro. That's awesome, man. Yeah, we're happy to have you here, man. Yeah, the show is built by Golden Door Award winners for Golden Door Award winners. So if you guys are listening and you're just tuning in, this is your first episode, the guy sitting across the room from me right here is a Golden Door Award winner, which means he is in the top 1% of the 1% of sales in the hardest industry to ever be in, which is door-to-door profession. So I don't care if you sell insurance, real estate, Jesus, whatever you sell, these guys and women on this show are going to be able to give you some tips, tricks, and we're going to find the formula on how to become a top-performing sales professional for life. First off, man, I want to talk about that tattoo on your right bicep. Dude, that Disney tattoo, right? That is badass.
So it's a goofy story. We got this in Disneyland on a charity trip I was at in Vivint. It says Hakuna Matata in Thai. Yeah. Could say I love ladyboys. I really don't know.
Oh, no.
Who knows? I don't know what it says. It's in Thai, and technically Hakuna Matata means no worries, I think, in some African language. I'm not sure which one. But that's what it's supposed to say. We went out on this trip. It was my buddy Daniel and I was stressing over a bunch of things, had some internal turmoil, and he had some business turmoil. And he's like, dude, the vibe for this trip is no worries. And so we were out there, and we had a monk offering to do tattoos, like the traditional tattoo on us. And we're like, dude, let's get matching tattoos. So it wasn't that big. I wanted to put a Disney castle on it just because, pre-current Disney, Disney's pretty woke right now. This brought back a lot of really wholesome memories for me, in the sense that when you saw that little star shoot over on the screen back in the day, that was about to be a pure good moment. And then can't live without Peter Pan, never grow up, dude. I'm just a 34-year-old kid over here.
I love that, dude. Freaking love that. So awesome. Cool story. Yeah, I was just wondering. I was like, dude, that's a
people try to roast the Disney tattoo all the time, so I got to tee up.
I wasn't, bro. I think it's cool, bro. I actually think it's really cool. I was really intrigued. I was like, that's actually pretty badass. Like, when somebody of your stature, which obviously you're top G masculine energy over here, that can say, yeah, dude, I'm still a child, that's very respectful. It's like some Jordan Peterson, you need to be able to, Jesus says that, you want to know how to enter the kingdom of God, have faith like this child, be like a child more, because as we grow up, we get jaded more. And obviously in just talking with you a little bit here, you've been jaded, and bad things have happened to you in the industry. And yet last year you're still able to hit the peak top G award of a Golden Door Award. So I want to talk about a few of those things. And really, again, the show is built for other Golden Door Award winners. I built the show for guys like you, Matthew. I want you to listen to the show because it's not just you that struggles with what you struggle with. I'm sure that you struggle with massive insecurity, or you probably have a level of insecurity like all top performers do. You struggle with a lot of things. So the level of struggles, hopefully, that you're able to use, that I use this microphone and this podcast as a platform for my weaknesses. The same thing goes for you. Hopefully, I can get you to that point, but get you to be some vulnerable, so that we can add value to the other top performers out there, and then obviously everyone else that is not a Golden Door Award winner. You get to listen to a couple guys that have lot of heat in their kitchen and they stick it out. So that being said, Matthew, tell me a little about, let's go back to last year. The beginning of the year, were you like, hey, I'm going to hit a Golden Door? Was that your plan? Did you go to Door to Door Con last year and go, hoorah, I'm going to go get a Golden Door? Or what was the story behind that?
I've been watching Sam Taggart since the Vivint days. My first year at Vivint, it was my goal. I wrote, I will be top rookie, on my arm every day that summer, and I wanted to hit 300. Came in the low twos. I was with, Danny Pesci. I don't know if you know Pesci that summer, but he was a great inspiration for me. Learned a lot from him. But I've always wanted to hit that, industry pinnacle, right? And so last year, it wasn't particularly on my horizon. That my whole motivation for the year was to hit Golden Door. But as I've watched Sam Taggart through the years, and I've watched the door-to-door space that he's created grow, who doesn't like accolades? Who doesn't like recognition? Most top sales guys thrive on that. So it was on my goal list. And when I looked at my pace halfway through the year, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to smoke this thing. Yeah, absolutely. So
awesome. Cool. Yeah, a lot of guys set out to do it. Do you remember, just out of curiosity, do you remember how close you were to the 130 the prior year? Do you know if you were pretty close to that?
I could pull some numbers for you. I was looking.
Yes. Were you even remotely close to that? Was it like half of it, or
more than half? I mean, probably I'd say around 75.
Yeah. Was it different? So then let's go into that, right? So I like to kind of talk about that because what took you, and it's usually the same for almost everybody. So I expect you to just say whatever it is, but there's a range of different sayings that mean about the same thing. So what was it between, and there could be a variety of actual differences here, but what was it that was the prior year before Golden Door, your Golden Door year, to now your Golden Door year, and you're probably going to hit it again this year. You'll be a 2-time Golden Door award winner this year, but what was the difference? Did Matthew just not have the sales skills? Like, what do you think the main things that was prior to the Golden Door year?
I mean, I owe 2021 entirely to the success that I've been able to hang my hat on in 2022, undoubtedly. And it's always hard to see the forest for the trees when you're in it. But man, that was a troublesome year. A lot of tough relationships with, guys I considered close to me, with an installer I'd been working with and growing with for some time. And then going out and trying to work with other installers and having a couple other, really, really tough, malicious betrayals in the industry that really forced me. Like, I would love to take the credit for just like, hey, I had this vision to go out and start Energy Bros and, take all these guys with me, but that would be a complete lie. I started my company out of the frustration and all the trial and tribulation that I had in 2021. And really, early in 2022, I was so frustrated. I said, you know what? I'm going to make a sales org that fits exactly what my needs are. And I didn't realize that in solving the problem I had, I was solving a problem that a lot of other guys were having as well. So based on bad relationships with installers, trying to have control of the process, control of like some additional add-on services I wanted to do to help with, attrition. My attrition was getting really bad here in Arizona. That is why I ended up starting the company. And then in the process, I was just looking to get a volume bump in my pay, because at the end of the day, if I could, go out and sell with a couple guys in a different market anyways and make more money doing it. Now it's more fun. We got a little group and I'm making more money to do so. But organically, as these guys started to talk and my friends started to hear what I was doing, everybody wanted a piece. So I can't say that, I had this vision to start Energy Bros and make this wholesale solar brokerage with all these additional services. Like, I had some, idea that sparked in my head one night and, was amazing. Really, it was out of frustration and failure. And I think that's where most ideas really come from, like good ones at least, right? and most inventors or entrepreneurs are solving a problem. I just didn't have the foresight to realize, like, hey, this is a big problem in the industry. People are sick of not getting paid on time, not working with reliable and trustworthy partners, not being able to add on all the amazing services that we can add inside solar financing, right? Solar financing is amazing. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, it does. It does. So tell me about this then. Let me bring you down to the guy that's hitting 60 deals a year for a second, okay? So I don't want you to talk to the Golden Door Award winners. I want you to talk to the guys that are hitting 50, 60 deals a year. Guys and girls are hitting 50, 60 deals a year. What do you think that this is not a sales podcast, really. This is more of a life podcast and to try to find this, the strategies. But what do you actually think is wrong? Like, why do you think that they are only hitting 40 to 60 deals a year for a couple years in a row? Like, what that second, third, fourth year guy? Like, what's wrong? What's happening?
Well, I mean,
if they're in a decent market, doesn't matter if it's a brand new market or if it's a saturated market. Why? What's happening?
I mean, are these blitz guys? Are these summer guys? Or are they year-round guys? Because those are three different guys.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk to the majority, which is going to be the year-round guys.
Year-round guys, I'd say two things. One is desire. Like, there's a massive amount of wealth that we're able to get in the solar industry right now. Not going to be around that long. If you aren't extremely hungry to go get that, I don't think you're going to get those big numbers. Once you make some decent money in solar, it's really, really easy to let off the gas. Other than that, I mean, if the world is your oyster, it's very, very attainable to go sell 2 deals a week, 50 weeks out of the year. That's 100 deals right there. High producers should be doing a deal a day. When we go out on blitzes, I do 1 to 2 deals a day in, day out, right? So for a guy to hit gas and just stay on cruise control, usually when I was doing year round, I would hit 1 deal. I would start work on Tuesday and I would be done with work by Thursday here in Arizona. I'd go get my 2 deals for the week. I would stay on pace for our innate club and I'd hit my 8 a month, right? And that is, you could do that in your sleep. So you just don't have drive or desire, to go out and hit those big numbers if you're just cruising and hitting 50 or 60, candidly speaking. That, and if you're, if you are working towards that, but you're not getting the results you want, very simply, goals and habits. A lot of people, I mean, I can elaborate on that if you want, but having the goals fleshed out, having a map and a roadmap to your success that you're reading and evaluating and reminding yourself of and keeping the forefront of your mind on a daily basis. People flesh out these amazing goals January 1 and they don't look at them for the rest of their year. They lose motivation. You keep those goals in the forefront of your mind on a daily basis and then build out a habit and routine system that allows you to go out and perform on those. I really don't think it's rocket science to go out and hit 100 deals in a year.
It was standard at Solar City. If we didn't hit 100, we were fired.
Yeah. A lot of studs came out of Solar City, and those are the guys that are now running most of the major installers. Yep.
Most of them are good friends of mine. If I don't know them, then I know them by name. That's awesome. That's a really good nugget. You talk about this.
It's a profound answer, right, Mikey? Like
it's not. It's not. That's the hard part. I don't get it.
Guys. What's the trick? What's the pitch? What's the in-home process? Where's the leads at? Like, dude, it's not that hard. A monkey can sell solar. Go out. You're going to find the bottom 20% just by knocking the doors every day. Right? The people who are nice enough to have a conversation with you, or the people that are just, you caught them at a good time and they're interested in solar. Like, people want this solar cheat code. Solar cheat code is go work every day, become a robot, make it automatic, and go work 2 to 7 or 2 to 8 Monday through Friday. You'll find your 2 deals and your 100 a year if you can just stick to that routine. Where people lose is they don't stick to the routine.
Well, I haven't got my 2 deals yet, and I'm on week 6. Okay, keep going.
Well, yeah, who's your trainer?
Yeah, true. Even if they had the best trainer, I had phenomenal trainers. It took me a while to get ahead. Like it took me. I was just slow, but I had learning disabilities and all that stuff too. I still do, bro. Stupid classes growing up. So
yeah, I'm with you. I still feel a little slow sometimes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let me dive into that a little bit, what you just said there. So this roadmap to success. So a lot of what I try to put out on the internet is like these like nuggets that I think people actually need of like, hey, like, do you realize, and I obviously do a lot of, I do a lot of financial educating and getting people to understand like, dude, you can have a roadmap to financial freedom and creating a, generational wealth. And I basically just give that out for free all day long. And so I'm interested to see what in your experience that has worked for a Golden Door Award winner, and what kind of habits, routines, methods that you use, like, i.e. the formula, right? It's like a potion, right? It's not one thing. It worked for Matthew, but in certain markets things might not work. Whatever. Like in Vegas, you could knock at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday and still set appointments. On 9 a.m. on a Tuesday in Phoenix, you're probably going to get nobody home. But anyways, let's talk about this roadmap to success really quickly. That sounds really interesting. What are some of the common, or what are some of the consistencies that you're doing? Obviously you work out, you're in shape. Like what are some of the consistencies that you're doing in life and in business right now?
It's all the boring stuff, Mikey. The Andy Elliott, you can only be as good of a person as good as shape you are, right? The level of discipline that you're going to put into your body is probably the same level of discipline you're going to put into every area of your life. I can preach that. I'm probably sitting 20% body fat right now. I'm not practicing it great. But
you're a big boy.
Well, yeah, dude, it's gaining season. But
is that what Andy would tell you, or would he tell you you're a fat ass?
He probably would. He'd make me take my shirt off on stage and ask me if my wife approved of this, and tell me that I never work for him unless I had a six pack.
Yeah.
So I love it, dude. Him, he's pretty ruthless, but I agree with it, and I constantly try to motivate my guys by just. It is so hard to get inside their head because everybody else is different. But just stamping out this consistent routine based on like what is driving you. It's so freaking simple. But for guys to go out and just put the follow through behind action, when we go and we flesh out their goals, right? We'll go like, what's your personal goals? What's your professional goals? What's your relationship goals? What's your spiritual goals? Let's break these down into sub quadrants. Now let's put together a daily routine. Let's use an app that tracks that data, and you just hit the buttons every day and you go do it, right? You can build out these roadmaps for guys to answer your question, but it is getting the follow through, and that is something that's intrinsic. Right? That is something that's intangible. You can't train it. You can't give it to them. It's something that they have or that they don't. And I think that the deeper question is, what is your driver in the sense of like, what have you been through and why are you pushing to be the person that you're looking to be, right? You can make it a why. You can make it whatever you want. I run a misfit ministry, right? My guys all have backgrounds, have substance abuse issues, right? Like I spent some time in AA myself. I have had a tougher background. You asked me if we could get vulnerable today, dude. I'll lay it all out on the table for you. But fine, because for me, my value, what I've learned from, and I heard this from a regional at Vivint, Cheyenne Thatcher, and I thought he was full of shit, right? He's like, I get, after you've made a certain amount of money, you can really only, get the gratification from helping others and taking them with you. I'm like, yeah, right, dude, you want my override. But I get that now, right? So whether it's for a rep, a 60 account rep, like what kind of value can you provide for your customer, right? When you're going out and working, or whether it's for me, what kind of value can I provide my guys? I think if you have a value-based mindset around those goals and serving other people and a good why, for me, that why is how can I make my guys better? How can I change their life? Whether it's at the customer level of helping a mom, get $10,000 so she can, pay off some debt so they aren't living hand to mouth with that tax credit, right? Reduce their monthly spend. In New Mexico, they have a state tax credit in conjunction with the federal. That's great. They get 40% off. We love to get creative with the ways that we help people use that money. And I try to instill that in my guys as well, that if you just got commission breath on the door and you're going to go like, hey, I got to hit my why, and my why is I want to sell 100 this year and I want to make 500 grand. That's a great why, but do that and provide value for other people along the way.
Yeah. I want to help. It's better to say I want to serve 100 people and add value to their family rather than be like, I'm going to make I'm $500,000. Like, yeah, the $500,000 comes with it. Okay, let's pause on that really quick because I like where we're going with that. I'm going to go back to that because I'm a really big guy on tracking. Like, I know that there's not many people like Mikey Lucas when it comes to tracking. So I'm going to go back to tracking. I like that because I actually have questions for you that I want you and I to work out because I don't know the answer. I don't think you know the answer, but I want to kind of like mastermind through it. I think the listeners would like to hear that. Let me go back to this.
Let's do it.
Why do you think that the the reps have a problem with, like, not why do you think they have a problem with commission, Beth, but like, why do you think they have such a hard time just doing it for the service of people rather than, like, in other words, like, it's a byproduct. The $500,000 is a byproduct of serving well 100 people. Serving well 100 people. Why do you think, like, it's a very, like, you're either for the money, you don't care about the people, or you're for the people and you don't get the money? Like, why is it that you and I are like, we're definitely here to serve the 100 people and the money comes with it? What's wrong with everybody else? Why are we crazy?
I can't figure it out, but that's that's our number one tenet, right? When we look at our values and our core values, there's two types of salespeople, right? There's the type of salesperson that uses people to make money, and there's the type of salesperson that uses money to help people. Be the latter, right? I heard that from a good friend of mine, and it stuck with me. We can still make an amazing amount of money and help people doing it, right? But when I see these max price per watts online, and people are like, got another max price per watt, I'm like, cool, fucked over another homeowner, man. Good on you. There's plenty of money to be had in serving people, and to get people in the right service mindset, I think you just have to find the right people, right? And if that's not somebody that's in alignment with you, that's probably not somebody that's a good fit for your organization. And beyond sharing the vision and helping them understand that, if they don't, sometimes it's easier to just say, hey, you're not a good culture fit for us, and keep your culture high rather than trying to conform them to the culture.
I love that. I love that. Go ahead, keep going.
It's something that, again, people have or they don't. I've wrestled with this for years, trying to turn non-sales guys into sales guys. You know, the desire and the internal intrinsic ability and just grit to go out and get it is something that people have or they don't. And whether that's usually with a value set or with the determination to be successful, I think that the real question is, how do you vet those guys out? How do you find out who's a good fit and who's not? And I still don't have the answer for you on that. That's maybe something that you could answer for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to.
There's been guys that come in and I'm like, this dude's a winner. He's a stud. I know I'm betting on this horse. And there's guys where I just, I let him in the organization because maybe we need a body. We try not to do that, but it's like, hey, I'm going to give him a shot, right? I'm going to give this guy a chance. Somebody gave me an opportunity, and he comes out and exceeds all expectations, right? How do you vet those guys out?
I'm hitting. So I've got a couple that I've figured out, but I'm hitting like 100 when it comes to me picking who I think is going to be the best guy, and they actually are not the best guy. Meaning, I'm batting 100, hitting 100. Meaning, I'm like 1 out of 10. Meaning, I am absolutely failing. So there are a couple things that I have noticed and things that I implement in my business right now, which I'll tell you, which I want you to use because I can tell you're asking me for help. By like the way that you're talking, I can tell you're like, bro, help me. If you got it, help me. And then you said it. I was like, yes, let me help you, bro. I got you. Which shows that if you're listening, Matthew is humble enough to say, I don't know, so please help me. And that is not common in a lot of top performers. I want you guys to know that. Top performers that make it only a couple years. Top performers that make it decades are humble enough to ask, just like Matthew just said, if you got the answer, tell me. Because they're always hungry to know more and so that they can go and help more because they know that they can only give out of what they have. So, Matthew, a few things that I noticed right there is, I have picked like 1 out of 10 in my career, and like I'm batting 100. I'm batting an F minus when I say, dude, this person's going to come in and kill it. Now, nowadays, when it comes to what I do currently, I'm a lot better at that, but it's because they hit certain criteria. So, I have created multiple Golden Door Award winners that were not warm body, but there'll be a 3 to 4, a 3 to 5 average rep. I suppose there'll be a 3 to 5 a month, and those there's 4 of them I can think of right off the top of my head that were in my own organization growing up. That were Golden Door that they hit Golden Door, and there was one that I'm thinking of specifically. She's a girl that I was like, there is no possible way this girl is going to do anything but We need some diversity. We need some more girls. And honestly, if I can train her and she's willing, which it sounded like she was, then she can actually do pretty damn good. Now, here is what's been common in those 4 people specifically, which I started asking on later. Every single one of those people that I'm talking about right now that were like, they might not make it. Every single one of them was already reading a personal development book right there. Was already reading one. And that almost never happens, bro. Never happens. I almost never get, okay, this is what I do. So how I do it is I ask in the interview, I say, what personal development books are you reading right now? The answer is almost every single time, nothing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're a personal development company that just so happens to sell smart home products. Are you okay with reading? Like, we're not a solar company. We're not a smart home company. We're not an AC company. We're not a roofing company. We're a personal development company that just happened to do roofing or whatever, right? So the ones that made it were all in their initial interview. They were doing personal development books. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Think and Grow Rich, all those. Whatever they were reading at the time. It was one of those books, though. So I asked that. And the other things that I've noticed of high performers inside of Golden Door Award winners specifically is majority of them trained MMA or do some sort of or did wrestling in high school. So that being said, how Andy talks about physical fitness, I think physical fitness is great. The Bible says physical fitness is outstanding. But what's even more important is spiritual fitness. And I'm going to say in the Mikey Lucas version, not saying of the Bible, but in my structure and standard, I would say mental fitness, because I've been now almost 11 years sober. Mental fitness and fortitude was the most important thing that unfortunately is not taught a lot of. So if you, Matthew, can get your guys to become more inside the personal development company then that sells smart home products or solar, you will get them even further. They have to become self-sufficient, high-performing sales professionals or Golden Door award-winning sales professionals. How do you get them to be self-sufficient? Well, they can read their own books. They become, like Tony Robbins says, they become resourceful. They start to find out problems, solutions for their problems, and then they come to you and say, hey, Matthew, this guy, wants me to give it to him at, $1.20 red line. The customer, that's obviously not possible, but you get the point. The customer wants a 10 kilowatt for, $4,000 because he's heard some other company in Arizona is going to give it for $4,000. How do I beat that? I know how to beat that. I'm going to do it like this. Is that what I should say, Matthew? That's the type of guys that we want to create. So, in the interview process, I do ask if they are doing that, and the other side of it is if they're not, no worries. We do book clubs. We actually give out $50 for every single book that they read, especially within the fast track, the first 9 to 16 weeks. We have to get money in their pocket right away. So if we're not getting money in their pocket, communications, stuff like that, to get them better on doors and in houses, and to become better leaders, like stuff that they actually need. I'll send them to you. A couple books like Pitch Anything, one of my Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I started a book club for these guys last month. I personally bought all the Rich Dad Poor Dad and said, hey guys, now that we're making money, let's work on keeping it. Let's work on financial literacy, right?
Yep.
Gave all the guys the books, asked them to read them. Guess how many guys read them? One guy read it all the way through. One guy got to 8 pages, and the other guys, I just bought books for. And a mentor I had a few years ago, I asked him for a book that he had on his shelf. He was like, no, that's my book. You can go buy that. And I said, well, okay, that's a little harsh. He was like,
and you bought it for them. They got it for free. And how much did they appreciate it?
Exactly. And so how do you monitor that?
So watch this. So what I do is I have to break through 3 barriers here. One, people only do what they're incentivized to do, especially the people that you're around. Again, I'm a 11 years sober now almost. So I also go to the brokenhearted, the weaker ones, the ones that the outcasts, those guys. Those are my favorites. So
sometimes the highest performers. That's the crazy part about that. I learned that from a guy named John Taylor in Vegas. Vivian, and he had a squad of AA guys on TRT, and these guys, it was like this. Because if you think about the addict personality, right, and who those guys are, they're movers, they're shakers, they're fast talkers, they're hustlers. I'm like, there's some genius behind this, but oftentimes those are the guys you can help the most, right? And they tend to
that
be
actually want it for the most part because they have taken the first steps. So here's what I do. So I make them. I say, look, we're gonna read the book, but here's how you're gonna do this. One, again, if the statement is true that people only do what they're incentivized to do, then I have to financially motivate them. Okay, so I give them $50 to read the book, and then when they read the book, I now need to help them remember it. So Matthew, how do you get them? You remember 10% of what you read, 20 to 30% of what you read and write down, and about 60 to 80% of what you read, write down, and then teach. Right? You just told me that before our call that you teach. You teaching sales helped you become a better salesman. I do the same thing. $50 for the book when you read it. I'm going to buy the book back from you. So if you got it on Amazon Audible or Amazon paperback, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you back the money for the book. Now you got $70 because you read a book. The key is that you have to write out 2 pages front and back. I don't care if it's 25 font, 50 font. I read the book 25 times on the back, front and back, 2 pages, and then you're going to present it to me or one of the managers, and we're going to sign off saying that you read the book. I just broke through one. I got you to present it to me, and all you have to do, as I literally tell them, I go, look, I don't care if you write the first 2 pages front and back on 2 pages of small paper. I don't care. They obviously they're not going to do that, but I tell them I don't care if you do that. I'm also not looking for an essay, which it's funny, some guys actually wrote essays. Other people just wrote down bullet points, and I'm like, look, I just want you to take notes, but now they retain more when they hand write it. So I go, look, they'll go, Matthew, or go, Mikey, what if I'm better at keeping notes on my phone? I go, yeah, you are better at taking notes on your phone. But cool, here's the cool part, is that I want you to transcribe those notes on your phone to paper, because what's going to happen is then I'm teaching them the reason why. They need to know why they're reading books. The reason why you're doing this is because you're the only thing that you're lacking is the right information. Like whatever you know has got you here. So now if I'm going to get you to where you want to be, which you told me you wanted $20,000 a month of passive income. You told me you wanted financial freedom. You told me you wanted to pay off your mom's house. You told me you wanted to give your daughter whatever, and keep going. You told me you want to do that. If you want that, the only thing that you're missing is the right information. So I'm going to have you write it down, and then you're going to present it back to us. Now you just read it, you wrote it down, and now you taught it back to us. The odds of you retaining the majority of this information is now 10 times higher. So that's what I do, and it works very, very well. That's how I've been able to, 1, get guys money in the beginning, and then 2, teach them, get them to read the books that I want them to read, number 1, or number 2, and that helps out a ton, because if I don't get their mind going, they get distracted. And then you're asked, okay, Mikey, how do I hold them accountable? So on that note, you have either your assistant or you text them every single day or every other day, and you create 14-day streak habits. So guys that are going through rehab or are going through their personal self-mastery journey, you have to go benchmarks. So 14 days in a row where everyone does it or the whole team fails. 5 easy tasks.
Yes, visually, have you heard of the Streaks app? Oh, dude, let's go. Bro, I'll bust mine out. I'd love to compare notes with you. Yeah, dude. Oh, I see your little shot there, man. That's good. We should hop in on this. I would love to see your Streaks habits and kind of compare Streaks habits, because that's I dig that.
You got a bunch of screens. So my thing on that. Okay, so that's another nugget. So first of all, if you're not doing that and you're a leader, you should be absolutely, and you're listening here, if you don't have a book club, Matthew always says he has a book club. So if you don't have a book club with your guys, it is the best $50 or $70 to invest in your people. If they're getting paid to read a book, like now it's no longer I'm going to school, I freaking hate school. It's now I'm getting paid like a job, like paid training. Come on, boom, psychologically breaks through that wall. And then they get time in front of you, which because they want to get more time in front of you, it's one-on-one time with you. And honestly, it takes less than 5 minutes. It takes 3 to 5 minutes for them to explain what they went in the book. And you go, cool, that's interesting. Tell me more, Matthew. Just like you did right there. Lean in and you go, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. And you go, yeah, and then I learned and then I learned this one-liner from the boom, and you're like, oh, really? Cool, sweet, man. How are you gonna implement that in your life, in your career? Awesome, sweet. So that is one way to get that moving. and then also, getting people, how do you find through the interview process? I do a lot more price framing when I'm interviewing. So I'll say, hey, look, we had thousands of people apply for this job. Obviously we're going to, you're one of the higher level guys that we wanted to take in. And I think we're going to take a risk on you. And I really think that this is going to work. So why should we hire you? But that's not the why should we hire you part. That's a good question too. But
price frame is essentially just like a high level pullback.
Yeah. High level pull. No, not necessarily. Not a pullback. A price frame would be, you want to be a mentor under me. I don't know if I have the time.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pullback to me. Maybe it's just a different way of framing it. Like you said, it's kind of pitch anything. Is this in pitch anything?
Yeah. Pitch anything. Yeah. Cool. So the pullback leads into the transitions into the frame. So the pullback would be like, yeah, sweet, would be that actual phrase that I just said. Yeah. So we're going to take a risk on you or whatever. Actually, that would be a takeaway rather than a pullback there. But anyways, almost the same thing. But yeah, that's how I have been able to see trends in character traits and attributes of high performers versus not, which is really funny. Like I was saying earlier, like I'm the guys that I don't know why, but some of them, guys that come in, they're really, really hot. They're freaking, I'm going to do this. Some of those guys do pretty well. And I think there's a different game. You have to play a different game for those guys as well as you have to play a different game for the other guys as well.
I think I'm going to be playing with a lot of the other guys. So I don't think you know this, but I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, one of the most dangerous cities, one of the most impoverished cities.
Yeah, drug-filled ever. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, guilty.
Bad boys. That was like Albuquerque. I love when Albuquerque came on Cops because I was like, this is about to get crazy.
So I got the hell out of there at 21. I promised myself I would never go back. Guess where I got all my sales for Golden Door last year? And guess where I'm at this year? Yes. So I bought a duplex. I live in Albuquerque. We got a brick and mortar there. I got nominated for a 40 under 40 award last year. I have deep running relationships with my roofer, my AC guy. I got my family, my referral network there. And so as much as I've been trying to get the hell out of Albuquerque, it keeps pulling me back. So I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but we started a 501c3 charity. We're working on, a men's mental awareness and mental health seminar that we're going to be putting on here in a couple months, and that's going to parlay into hopefully like, hey, let's not just give a seminar for the weekend for these guys. Let's pull them into our business and say, hey, if this makes sense, instead of just giving you some golden nuggets to take home, right? Let's give you actionable, come train with us, come work with us, and let us change your life, right? So I'm going somewhere with this. You talk about, this perfect recruit that comes in the door. It sounds like a perfect recruit to me, right?
Yep.
But in Albuquerque, there's a lot of guys, like me, raw, maybe diamonds in the rough. But I don't think I'm going to get a lot of guys coming through my door that are reading personal development books in Albuquerque. So when you get some of these rougher guys, they don't have, books, sitting on the desk, books on the shelves, that are excited about personal development, and you're trying to basically maybe change their vision in life from like, hey, have you ever sold drugs? Oh, cool. That's a business. Let me show you how to do legitimate business over here, right? Yeah. Same thing. How do you refine those guys and really determine who a good pick is?
Yeah. You're asking me that or no?
Yeah, because that's how we got on this subject, right?
Yeah. So it's to me, it's the process after. One of my strengths is individualization. So that comes down to setting up. Okay, so this is I say this on almost every podcast I'm ever interviewed on because they ask me that question. It is, Mikey, how did you create so many Golden Door winners? How did you do that? How I did it, Matthew, was setting a 7-year goal, like you just said, and then all I do is every month in their one-on-one, I bring up what they told me, and I go, how much closer or further are we away to hitting that 7-year goal? You have to obviously reverse engineer it, but if they don't have ultimate clarity on how to get there, it is going to not happen. Now, that being said, I give them financial numbers and I show them stuff in real estate because everyone wants to be in real estate. So I just give general numbers of 8 or 10%. So I typically do 10%, so it makes it a little bit easier for them to follow. But every $100,000 invested should get you right around a 10% return. So that is $833 a month. Meaning, if you're making $5,000 a deal, okay, that is what? is that 20 deals is technically 20 deals allocated to making $833 a month. And if
your income, if you're a Golden Door winner, if you're on pace for
exactly right. But every 20 deals goes towards $833 a month in passive income. And let's just say you had $25,000 worth of $2,500 in monthly expenses. I know you and I don't, but those guys might have $2,000 in expenses, right? Yeah. That's 3 times $100,000. So now I go, hey, look, all you need is 60 deals plus 20 to live on. So that's 80 deals in a year. And now you're going to have $2,500 a month in passive income. Now it's when they're on doors, that's all they're focusing on. They're no longer focusing on paying their bills, paying off their credit cards. They're focusing on, all I need is one more door to get closer to that $20 mark, 20 deal mark. Every 20 deals I do, that's almost $1,000 a month in passive income, baby. I'm just going one more deal, 1 out of 20. I'm at 15 out of 20. I'm at 16 out of 20, 17. And you just keep reminding you guys that, reminding you guys that.
It's the reminder. It's the constant reminder for these guys and almost the dangling of the carrot to keep the vision in the forefront of their minds. Because I think that sometimes we take for granted as leaders the fact that we've learned these lessons over years and years that have been hammered into our heads, and we go teach the vision one time and we're like, dude, I taught this to you. Why don't you know it? And it's because, well, you didn't, have it hammered into your head over the last 10 years. You taught it one time and, you're supposed to retain it.
Yeah. So the things that I'm using right now is I actually have a software, which I'll give to you because you're a Golden Door winner. It's something I do. Is that what I do with a lot of the other guys is they're in the same thing for accountability and just stuff like that. That's what I do. Where that's where it does. It will text you. Let's just say it's every other day or every day. Hey, check in. How many doors did you hit today? How many appointments did you make? How many sit downs did you have? How many installs did you have? And if they're checking in every single day, I'm telling you that 2023 right now and 2024 is going to be the year of the scoreboard. If you're not pointing to the scoreboard and saying, you're behind, buddy, get off your ass and get to work. If you don't keep pointing to the scoreboard, I don't have to motivate you. The fact that you told me you want to do this with XYZ, boom, go on, rent a freaking yacht for 20 grand for a day. Humper, you better get up off your ass and start moving because scoreboard, buddy, tick, tick, tick. It's about to be the end of the year. We have 3 months left till Christmas. Not 7, not 5. We've got 3. Good luck getting anything installed in December. Obviously, things get installed in December, but you get the point. So it's just a matter of setting up automatic text messages. I'll tell you that. I'll show you that after the show. But basically, it's super easy. You just automatically send out to messages to your guys every single day. Boom. And that way you can go back to work doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Delegate.
AI. Yep. And then you can just get a report based off of who responded to it or not.
Really, really good takeaways for how to increase performance and motivate your guys. Thank you.
And to stay motivated too, because you're probably a damn good cheerleader, but holy crap, my gosh, dude, can you stay motivated for once in a freaking week?
Yeah. It is exhausting to be an emotional counselor, a cheerleader, a problem solver, to check in, an accountability checker, a coach, right?
Save my deal.
You are doing it to see these guys get better, but at the end of the day, you do want some return on your investment too. It's nice to see that in the form of dollars and cents, and also purpose and changing these guys' lives. But it's a lot of work. I think we aren't really talking so much about Golden Door. I think we're talking about higher, management tactics or management techniques, I should say, not tactics.
Sure.
That sounds weird. But
can I give you one? Can I give you one golden nugget for yourself? One.
Dude, I'll take them all. Give me the bag. No ego here.
I know we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but do you realize how successful the guy that you recruited, Connor, is right now? Do you know how successful he is? Connor, you recruited him. You recruited him in the industry. You gave him the opportunity.
Yeah, and Connor will be the first to tell you. I mean, when we were doing at those days in Vivint, I couldn't talk in front of a group. I was the rabbit. I was the pace setter, and I had so much emotional insecurity and stuff at that time. I could barely talk or train in front of a group. And the way my outlet was, we would go out and party in the weekends, and even sometimes on the weeknights, and I would still throw it in. My regional manager, Brock Gravitt, probably said one of one of the worst things he could have said to me, which is he told me the story about Michael Jordan and how they went to Vegas one night. They partied. Michael Jordan came back, had a record-setting game, and the rest of his team took a crap. He's like, dude, he's like, so tells me the story. This is after I had one of my best weeks ever. My team shot to bed after we went out. And I'm like, so you're telling me I'm Michael Jordan? And he goes, you missed it. And that was the phase of life that I was in. So Connor and I are still really, really good. And I am so glad. I know that I had a key role in getting him involved and getting into the industry and probably carrying him through it. I don't know. I mean, I will take ownership in the fact that, you know, when he bowed out, it broke my heart. I was disappointed that he didn't give me an opportunity based on my personal growth and where I'd been when he came back. He went with some other guys, and that's good, and I wish him success, but that was my opportunity to lose, right? So what's the golden nugget there?
Is that you have somebody that you took under your wing and is very, very successful and gives you the credit for it.
He does. Good. That's amazing, dude. I'm really, really happy for Connor. I wish, you know, not selfishly, but regretfully, I wish, you know, that we could have still worked together because, you know, I am responsible for getting him in and getting him, you know, some of that early industry training that at 18 was formative for him, right? That's, you know, he's for sure that's still carrying him through. But at the end of the day, we always, you know, preach this, and I really mean it. I'm really happy that he's doing well where he's at now. It was a good learning lesson for me as a leader, you know, to learn that, hey, I lost a guy because I wasn't ready for him at that time, and I was on my own journey. What I'm thankful for is he got in the industry at 18. I got into professional doors at 27 years old, right? I'm 34 now. I'm ready to bail. And a lot of these guys, he's just getting warmed up, and he's got all that energy and vigor and a new kid. And so, you know, more power to him for sure.
Yeah, he's crushing it, man. So, well, dude, awesome. I know that we went a little bit over on time. I kind of wanted to hear one last thing from you, if that's okay.
I mean, I got more time here. I can push that franchise call back. This is flowing pretty well. I'd like to, I mean,
okay, cool.
Not selfishly speaking, but you've given me a lot here today. I'd like to give some back. I don't feel like I've given a ton out on this call. So
no, you're good. You're good. Sometimes
I'm here to give, man. And learn.
You did tell me you were looking for a mentor, and I said I would rather just give it to you for free right now. So that's kind of what we're doing. So, and I hope the listeners are getting from this, because this is Mikey at his finest. Giving another top performer Golden Door winner do this running a multi-million-dollar organization advice right now. Think about that. Think about my position, the responsibility to help somebody that's running a multi-million-dollar successful organization like that. That's a lot of responsibility that I have. So I hope you guys got that. Yeah, dude, just go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to I've got one thing. So those are some of the strategies that I use to like help and create multiple Golden Door winners. The main thing that you and I can talk off mic about, but is my software Golden Door formula helps you automate rep experience and customer experience. That is what you need. That is it's using AI. That is what's going to level you up. That is automatically going to make you more money no matter what. It is prime. That's not what this show's about, but I do know that I built it because the Golden Door Award winners. I built that out of necessity because I was like, how do I add more value? I'm like, oh my God, like I need to go find a software. I did all the software stuff, and I was like, screw it. I'm over $100,000 deep into a software right now that I've built that's up and running. And that's what you need. You need an automation of customer experience, which is your first customer is your sales rep. Then your second customer is your actual homeowners that are buying solar from you. So let me get back to, so you need that. That's what everybody needs, and that's why I built it. But,
well, and let me speak to that. It's 100% true. This show is for the Golden Door, you know, the people chasing the Golden Door, but more so, I think the next rung on that, which is the Golden Door is just the beginning, right? You can go out. It is, you know, it is not hard to go out and form and create. Yeah, it is hard, but it can be done, right? To go out and form and create a sales organization, like a ton of guys are doing it right now, right? And as you start going through the growing pains, accounting, recruiting, marketing, and like all these little different facets of business that really become fun but overwhelming. One of the very first rungs you learn is systemize, automate. And yeah, we've been working on doing that internally. If you had something that was rolled out, I can speak for myself and probably a ton of other business owners out there. And for those that are looking to take it to the next level, yes, dude, that would fulfill a massive hole for us. So, yeah.
So I have consulted over 260 companies in my career. So I actually used to work for Sam Taggart as well at Door to Door Experts. And I've consulted a lot of companies there. But after that, I started my own consulting agency, not doing what Sam was doing. I did it mostly in the financial realm. And then it ended up turning into like, hey, like, do you realize that this system, process is not working? I actually am a big proponent. I'm not sponsored by these guys or anything like that, but I'm a big proponent of ClickUp. So there's 2 companies that I like, and one of them is HubSpot. The other one is ClickUp. So for an internal, for instance, like, hey, Matthew, if you have one of your top sales reps and he forgets a fucking utility bill 95% of the time, and then your back-end team has to remind him to get the utility bill, and they end up after 7 days or 10 days, they stop reminding him.
We don't get that. We have that as a stop. We don't allow him to he can't upload the deal without it.
Okay. So further than that, that's for like most companies. They need to go do a re-sign. Okay, they need a re-sign. They signed up for 45 panels. We can only fit because of trees and whatever setbacks. Solo or Aurora is wrong.
3 weeks ago, re-sign deal cools off, deal cancels. How do you fix it?
Precisely. So your back-end team follows up with top sales rep A, and for 7 days, 15 days, and then they are like, "Fuck it, this guy's never going to do it, so I'm done." That's where you put automation intact there, and that's how you can just. There is no emotion because AI doesn't care. I mean, okay, maybe they do care. They don't care if you get them back or not. Their goal is to get the job done, right? And to get you to go say, yes, disposition it. Yes, I got the re-sign. We're done. Boom, you're now off of the list of getting talked to. So if you want to talk about easily getting the customer experience, which is your rep experience, more healthy, I would say automating that kind of stuff, which also with your back-end team using ClickUp, or I use ClickUp. I know a lot of people use HubSpot, but I use ClickUp, and I think ClickUp is one of the best versatile with integrations and AI that can go as deep as payroll and as low key as you forgot to give us a utility bill. Automatically you get a task, and you can task your guys so that they know rep transparency where their jobs are at. So yeah, I've actually built that out for a few companies, and it's really easy to do. I've got a guy on Fiverr that does it for $300. ClickUp wants $5,000. I have a guy on Fiverr that does it for $300.
Love it.
So yeah, it's pretty good. So if you don't have a really good software, then I'd love to show you that too. It's fine too.
Love to. I think that one transition that everybody's going to have to make, and I'd love to pick your brain on this for a sec, is like how can we integrate AI into every facet of our business right now? Like what are we missing? Who are the, if you're not an early adopter, I think we're still in massive early adopting phase right now. Am I correct?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
So for guys like me who usually miss the boat and are in, probably the late adoption phase,
don't miss this. Don't miss this one. If there's any one that not to miss, it's this one.
What do I do?
Utilize my software. That's using AI right then and there.
Well, that's important. But I'm talking.
So what aspects? So so you can't do, from my experience, you can't automate through AI everything. The AI just doesn't get it completely and doesn't have the emotional intelligence like a human just yet, unless you're going to pay a lot of money for that. And I think that would be like government level AI. So we don't have access to that to the general public yet. ChatGPT, don't get me wrong, is profound, bro. It's profound. But a couple ways you need to do that. One, AI in follow-up, AI in follow-through, AI in reputation, AI in referrals, and AI in lead gen.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say that. Lead gen, I feel, is like a common one. We've been meaning to bust into that, but I think for referrals and follow-up, you hit that nail on. I got to get in the mastermind.
This is a mastermind.
Is this for the people, or is this just for me, man? I'm so grateful to have the time here today. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course, brother. Of course. Yeah, the hard part about AI. So we work with AI I'm working with AI every single day. The software that we're using is actually called Riverside. It's going to break up content via AI, and we're going to send you that content, and it's a little, Matthew Sessa cool clip that you can use for your software, for your Instagram. So for your socials, it does that for you. There's a lot of cool things like that. A lot of them are, there's a website called There's an AI for that. I want to check that out, nugget for the listeners. There's an AI for that. But the key here is that what I understand about AI is you can't use AI for everything. So what I think a lot of people are trying to do is work smarter and not harder. And I think that what's got me to where I'm at is working smarter and working harder.
Yeah.
So the catch is that people want typically the easy route. It's like anything else. Honest to God, Matthew, yesterday was the hardest day out of 28 days of me on carnivore, where I'm eating meat, salt, water, and black coffee.
I'm a big carnivore guy. I love carnivore.
Yeah. I'm 28 days in right now. Yesterday, day 27 was the hardest day of the entire journey. No one was here, all by myself, and there's like bags of chips. And don't get me wrong. Oh, well, Mikey, okay, listen, guys on YouTube, okay, you freaking keyboard ninjas, chill out, okay? Throw it out. Yeah, I know, but I have a wife, okay? So I can't throw it out. I have to have discipline. And actually, Matthew, I'm doing it because I want the discipline. I beat yesterday. Yesterday didn't beat me. And when I can beat enough days, I'll beat enough weeks. And when I can win the week. And when I beat enough weeks, I'll win the freaking month, Matthew. And when I beat enough freaking months, I'll win the freaking year. I'll beat the year. And when I win enough years, Matthew, you and I are going to be racing on our boats in the middle of the freaking Bahamas. Let's go.
You know what, man? Winning at life.
Let's go.
One day on carnivore at a time.
Right.
But dude, I'm so ADD. My struggle on carnivore is, the repetitious diet. After day 3, 4, after you've purged everything, and I mean, you can supplement with some ketones and stuff, like the amount of mental clarity, like, dude, I can tell you're sharp as a tack right now. You're all there. I get a little carby sometimes and cloudy, and sometimes I'll do just a really good gut recheck on carnivore. It's so good, gets rid of all the inflammation. But it's like, I can only eat so much steak, chicken, butter, and frickin' bone broth, dude.
Dude, I got 2 more days. I'm doing a reset right now. I needed to do it because I needed mental clarity. Whenever I see myself going down in discipline, I'm like, reset. I went vegan for 9 months because that was the hardest thing. One of the hardest things I ever did. I do a lot of things like that to try new things out. I did the vegan regimen in 2020, and it just it opened up my eyes to a lot of things, which was really cool. And now I'm obviously doing the carnivore diet or carnivore regimen, and it is. Dude, you're right. I'm very, very clear. I don't take Adderall anymore. I was taking Adderall for a while. I don't tell people that, but I was microdosing Adderall. I was about 5 milligrams a day for about 2 years. I needed it. I'm very, like you said, ADD. I'm like on, bro. I'm on. So
your Adderall. I was a macro doser in my Vivint days. I'd start the day with 40.
They call them Smarties. Smarties.
Boom, go. And then to run that hard like we did, that was pretty insane. But don't be embarrassed of that. It's who you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Yeah. No, not at all. But no, I mean, I think I kind of want to go back, if we can, back to the culture thing. I want to, and we can try to wrap it up. But the culture thing. So what are you doing? Are you okay with being the bad guy? I had a hard time being the bad guy. I don't know why. It's because I was always the one that was supposed to be like the motivator and all that stuff. Do you have somebody, or?
I have personal relationships with my guys, and dude, I'm a dictator. If you're late to my meeting by 1 minute, $100 Venmo. You missed my meeting. You didn't write a deal. $1,000. Send it to me. You don't like it. That's fine. There's the door. Can't afford it today. Cool. I'll double that charge on your next check. Right. And so the only thing that I've been able to instill in guys to actually get respect. I mean, not to get respect, but to enforce rules is hit them where it hurts. Hit them right in the pocket. A lot of guys, like, I remember the meetings where we do wall sits and push-ups, and it's a joke, man. It's disruptive.
It is a joke.
Seriously. But beyond that is, I had to be quick to fire, and I was slow to fire last year. I had a guy that, he was my top sales guy. He was who I was. He was a prima donna, always wanted more money, always gave me problems, always disrespected me in front of the group, punched windows out on a blitz, made bad promises to customers, and I was so...
At Airbnbs?
Yeah, dude, got us kicked out of a few Airbnbs. Would leave gum. Just a disrespectful human. But at any rate, finally ended up letting him go. Had to do it, and I was worried about the organization. I'm like, that's 10 deals a month, dude. And the very next month, we went out and replaced it, and the culture and the morale was all-time high, right? Yeah. So, not being afraid to fire the top guys, but also the low producers. I can't tell you how many rooms I've been in where they're so scared to fire the guys that just do one a month. I got a rule: if you do one a month, 3 months in a row, see you later. It's been hard to enforce because, you do build these relationships with these guys, and you do get a soft spot for them, and you want to see them be successful. But at the end of the day, how long can you be patient, with somebody and invest more than them than they're willing to invest in themselves? you know that these numbers are attainable. Go out and get 2 a month for a year-round guy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? Like, I dropped the number from 3 to 1 because I just didn't want to fire guys, and we brought it back up to 3. It's 3 a month, man. If you can't do 3 a month, like, sorry. Like, this isn't the place for you. I want you to be here. I want you to want to be here. But if you can't cut it, then we got to cut you. And it's hard sometimes because you build these relationships with these guys and you really care about them. But if
you know their family, you know their wives, you know their kids.
Yeah. And if you want to protect your culture and what you built, and you also want to take care of these people. And it's like, well, how can you say in one side of your mouth that, you know, you want to take care and help these guys, and then you fire them, you know, when you don't know what their personal
3 months before Christmas.
Yeah, and so that's hard, but you have to do it to keep culture tight. And one other thing, you know, I've got my last 2 guys that were my friends first, right? All my other friends, and these are the guys that I've had the hardest time with. They're the guys I make the least amount of money on, and they cause me the most problems, right? And they're the guys that were my friends first. So now I hire strangers first. I try not to involve friends in the business. It just gets hairy, right? Bring in a stranger, let him become a friend. Don't bring in a friend and try to change his life. You'll lose the friend and probably the employee too.
Yeah. So that is a nugget, guys. I think that, I don't know if it's a Vivint culture thing or if it's a door-to-door culture thing. It probably started at Vivint, not in a bad way necessarily, but it started in multi-level marketing. So I thank Jim Rohn for that one. The go and like recruit your friends first, you know, thing. So what's the difference between, where's the fine line? I'll end here. Where's the line between patience with a rep and enabling a rep?
God, that's such a great question. I'm trying to find it. I really am trying to find that line, man. That's for always working to get better. And that's something I work on probably each day. I bought a hat on our last splits. Excuse my language. It says fuck around and find out. And I basically drew the line in the sand, and I came into the meeting on Monday and I said, all right, boys, this is the attitude. These are the rules. This is the mindset. If you're on board, I want you guys all in. If you're not all in, get out. Is everybody all in? And that was the level of intensity that I took to that trip. And I've been true to myself in following that. And so the standards and the minimums and the rules that we have in place, you have to figure out what those are. You have to write them out, and then you have to adhere to them, right? So where is that line? I don't know. You have to write out what your formula is and what the rules you're going to adhere to are, and then you have to do the hard part, which is stick to them.
Yeah, feel that, dude.
So,
no, Matthew,
that line's individual for each person, but I hope that helps.
No, it did. It definitely does. It is. I don't know. I'm still finding it out too. I think it's just a matter of like tracking. I'm leaning right now in my like coaching career more towards if the guys are giving you effort. If they're giving you effort, then keep them. If they're not, then they have to go because they're obviously bad company corrupts good character. It's in the book of Proverbs. Bad company corrupts good character. You can have good guys or guys that are only hitting 4 deals a month that are about to hit 6 or 7 in the next 6-7 months as long as they just continue routine. But unfortunately, they get dragged down by the bottom guys, and that's, it's unfortunate. So, and then I think the other thing I do, Matthew, this is a little nugget for you too, is spending 80% of my time on the top 20%. And for you, it might be your top 30%, maybe top 40%, but definitely making sure that you're spending quality time and tracking. I use the app called A Tracker to track how many hours I'm talking with anybody in the top 20%. And if that's not 80% of my training time, there's a problem. And it's directly correlated with the override and with how successful the business does and how successful the office does.
Yep.
Very important. Yeah, I
So
track a lot of things.
your top 80% will be your most profitable guys, not your volume, right? Because I got my guys that, sell a lot of accounts, but they got a really good red line. Yeah. They look good on paper, but I make a lot less money on them, and they're a lot less trouble than the guy who's selling less accounts, but he's newer, and he comes and he puts in clean accounts, and the spread is bigger on him because he's working his way to climb up our pay scale, right? That would be directly related to the profit, right? Not the volume.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
I agree with that. That's good stuff.
Well, dope, dude. I've been following Energy Bros USA. Energy Bros for a while, and I love what you guys are doing. I love your marketing. I love what you guys are doing. I'm excited. I was excited to get on this call, and I was like, dude, I just want to know more about you. I want to get to know. I want to get under the hood and find out, if you guys are who you say you are, and it's very clear that you guys are. I love it. I'm excited about it, dude. I'm excited to see you, one, again on stage again next year as a Gold Door Award winner, and two, just to see your guys. I want to support your guys. Let me get on a call and give your guys that are former addicts my story, my testimony, to show them how far I've come in door to door. I would love to do that for you, bro. And I'll give them some financial tips, something like that, and I can help them out there too.
Yeah, we'd love to have you as one of our correlations next week. Happy to have
Absolutely.
you. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Dope, dude. Well, dude, it's been a pleasure. I know that we're a little time constrained. I got to get moving too here. What is there any final words that you have for the other Golden Door Award winners out there?
Do the work. Just do the work. Quit bitching and making excuses. I'm not going to give you anything profound. Go out and just knock the doors every day. It's so simple. Find your why and do it. It's just that simple. There is no special sauce. There is nothing that's going to, just make you profoundly better today than you were yesterday, other than going out and putting in the work today that you did yesterday and doing it repeatedly. That's why this is my favorite step to check off on my day.
Let's go.
Did I get better today? Right? Check that one off.
Let's go. I love that.
And I don't even use these anymore because it's just a part of my day, man.
Love that.
It's just like I don't even have to use the Streaks app because it's so ingrained. But did you get better today than you did yesterday? Did you work as hard today as you did yesterday? And can you do it consistently, like in the compound effect? Go put in the work. So simple.
I've read Compound Effect something like over 40 times, dude. Love Compound Effect. By the way, here's the last thing I actually need from you. Compound Effect. What other books would you recommend to any of the aspiring sales professionals?
If you have not read the most beginner communication book of all time, I've read this book dozens of times on the shitter. My dad gave it to me. It's one of my favorite books. How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you don't understand how to communicate with humans at the most basic level, which is looking at any situation, be it agreement, disagreement, from somebody else's paradigm, understanding why they feel the way they feel. If you're wrong, quickly, emphatically, admitting it, right, and apologizing for it. These basic human communication techniques, like, dude, get up in that book. That's like, again, I'm a classic traditional principles guy, and everybody want, like, what's the new exciting, sexy book? Like, read a good book and reread it and internalize. And so
I'm over 800 books now read, and most of those are there's not over 150 titles that I've read in there. I've just read those books over and over and over and over and over again. All right, dude. Appreciate it.
You can only put something in so many words, so many different ways. It's the same principles and techniques. People have already written it. Just memorize it.
Compound Effect is good. Atomic Habits. It's the same thing. So almost the same thing.
Speed of Trust, Good to Great, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Power of Broke, Think and Grow Rich, Grit, 10X Rule, Winning, Rise and Grind, The Road Less Stupid, How Will We Measure Your Life, Wild at Heart, Journey of Desire, Emotional Intelligence, Happiness Advantage. I mean, those are a few.
I love it. The struggle is real. I'm over here sitting like your shorts are up.
Dude, yeah, how did that look? How's that look right there? Look good, man. Looking nice.
Hell yeah. I was like, I've got the same thing. I'm like, shit, I got the same thing right now. Dude, where can we, I want everyone to follow you on Instagram, LinkedIn, connect with you, bro. We want to follow your journey. We want to see you. First of all, again, listeners, listen, Matthew puts out really good content. So
we've been a bit of a ghost lately. I apologize for this. We were actually, we took some time off. We wanted to make that really good, core group of videos so that when people check us out online, they know that we're legit. But I've been so busy working on the internal side of the business, redoing the website, doing our internal growth strategies, that we've kind of been a ghost lately. So I promise we're going to get some new good content out lately. You can follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is my last name, Sessa Flex. And then obviously we have our business Instagram, Energy Bros USA.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, guys, go out and follow them. They are actually putting out lots of phenomenal content that you can copy paste for your company and or learn from. So guys that are, me, I'm all big on on social media. So I get a lot of ideas from guys like Matthew. I was like, wow, this guy's got freaking solid content on the internet. So Matthew, man, it's been a pleasure, dude. God bless you, dude. Looking forward to seeing you at Door to Door Con this year. And dude, I can't wait to be in front of your office and helping those guys out, dude. God bless you, man.
Likewise. Yeah, we'll really take you up on it. Just a little here. We'll pump up the crowd. I'm hoping to have 2 Golden Doors for 1 year this year. We're slightly behind pace for that, but I got some big commercial deals coming up. Hopefully, a little 53 spot that we should close up next week. 53 properties, 330 doors. So I think Sam will count those. So
single family properties. Done. Hell yeah. I love it. All right, brother. We'll take it easy.